What's going on, y'all? I'm David. This is RVFamily.life. Just wanted to have a quick chat with you guys about something that I thought was interesting, and that is the Cybertruck. I'm sure y'all have seen the thing out there. It invokes some strong emotions when people see the truck because it looks so wildly styled. Some say it's the ugliest thing ever made. Others are attracted to how interesting it is. What I want to talk about is in conjunction with using it for RVing. I personally have had my reasons for why I wouldn't want to use an electric truck or an all-electric truck for towing an RV, mostly to do with range. I don't understand how anybody can take one of these things and go 300 to 400 miles in a day. They really can't. Without, of course, a bunch of long stops. They don't make a lot of sense. They seem to have a lot of problems when it comes to this. I've already heard multiple stories of families with Ford's F-150 Lightning pulling Airstreams and just not able to make the haul that they scheduled and planned. One of them, they were 10 or 11 o'clock at night, still not at their destination, having 100 more miles to drive, and they were still charging up once again. Because once you put all that weight on that electric truck, it loses all of its range. What it had with one 200-pound driver in it, it no longer has with like 5 people inside plus a Airstream being pulled behind it. It completely changes the dynamic. So from that perspective, I wouldn't choose an electric truck for pulling an RV. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Now, the Cybertruck is different. Haven't seen a whole lot of tests with those yet. I do know that Corey and Jesse of Finding Our Someday, they got to play around with one. Didn't really put it to a long haul test. Would love to see them actually go out and take it for a 1,000-mile trip and see what life is really like dealing with it. But something that I came across were some videos of the frames completely breaking in half when towing with them. Now, these are extreme. These videos, the truck has been put through absolute extreme tests, like probably you're not going to do. But it failed at a point that seemed like it shouldn't have failed. It raises a lot of questions about the actual frame. I'm worried. I think everyone should be worried. And I know people don't like Elon Musk right now because of political reasons. That aside, I think this truck needs to go back for some serious testing. They invented some new ways of doing things when it comes to making the frame, and I'm all for innovation. I'm all for testing things out and making them better. Obviously Elon is too, because you watch him constantly shooting rockets up into the sky and catching them or having them blow up, and they learn from them and they repeat the process. Well, I think that they dropped the ball on some testing when it comes to this Tesla Cybertruck. So what I'm going to do, share some of these videos with y'all, talk about who made these videos, and I will have links for the actual videos down in the description below, because I can't just take from their footage and not give them credit. So I want to be able to send you to see the full videos if you so desire, and we'll talk more about that. Now, this first video is from WhistlinDiesel. This is quite the character. He's not my style of videos. He is a little wild and crazy, but he has the money to go out here and just beat up this Cybertruck and find out what actually happens when you do. So he took the truck up against an F-150 and through a number of tests to see which one would prevail as being the better truck. And right here in this part of the test, when pulling that F-150 off those pipes, the frame cracked in half. Now, this is the first thing I saw, and one of the reasons I wanted to bring this to y'all is, let me pause this real quick. WhistlinDiesel, like I said, is not really my style. He is aiming at a younger crowd, a little bit rough crowd. I don't know how to describe it. The type that would, I guess, drink a lot of Mountain Dew and get into shenanigans. That's my cleanest way of trying to convey to you the type of person WhistlinDiesel is. I wouldn't normally recommend, hey, go watch all of WhistlinDiesel's videos. They're a little rough around the edges. One of the things I don't care for is he clearly cusses in his videos. They censor it, but they do a terrible job of censoring it, so you still know pretty much what bad word he just said. I don't care for that this much. But for science reasons, we're watching WhistlinDiesel tear apart a Cybertruck. So you can see here where he's just taking a look, just blown away. You can see in there the aluminum frame, and it just doesn't look real thick. This is the new video. No, let me stop this real quick. Well, this is JerryRigEverything. I watch his channel because when he gets new iPhones or new Samsung phones, he breaks them intentionally. He does a number of things, scratches the screens, he does all kinds of stuff to see what kind of damage the phone can take. His channel's been very successful, and now he's got enough money where he can come out here and destroy a Tesla Cybertruck. So they're using construction equipment to put downward pressure on the hitch, and they're able to gauge the exact amount of pressure they're applying because they want to see what will happen when they get up to the 11,000 pounds that the tow rating is rated for this. Now, I do have a disagreement with saying 11,000 pounds is the tow rating, but then they're applying 11,000 pounds downward pressure. I don't think that's completely equal, but I will say that I don't think the frame should have done that. Once again, the aluminum frame snapped in half. Now, JerryRigEverything gets extremely scientific with this, taking a look at everything they can here. And I think the most important takeaway from what they saw, they measured this here in a little bit, you'll see it, and the thickness of the frame is just not very good. But another thing that I learned from this channel was the aluminum, over time, the more stress it takes, it compounds. And that doesn't happen with steel. And this is what he taught me from watching this video. So I haven't gone and validated that anywhere else. Sounds legit. They saw some glue. There was some glue used to adhere whatever it was from the top there to this frame piece. But that right there is the frame that broke. And what it is, it's I believe they said it's pressed aluminum. They invented a new way to create this frame, but there you go. They're measuring the thickness of the frame itself. It's just not thick enough. I think that they need to use a different way of creating this, or possibly just putting more in there. But they brought out an older Ram 2500 with an all steel frame and tried to apply the same amount of pressure, and they could not get equal enough pressure. The whole back end of that excavator, I don't know what it's called exactly, is off the ground. They couldn't put any more pressure on it, and they could not break the steel frame of this older Ram. Just to go and show you what this really should look like, should not be breaking. And then just today, as I began making this video, I discovered there was a part 2 from WhistlinDiesel. They applied some more tests between the F-150 and the Cybertruck. Nothing was really sticking out to me. The frame was already broken. They're still able to drive it. He's just not going to tow with it at this point. But he was...
You may be wondering if Tesla has acknowledged our frame snapping in half. No, they have not. I don't think Tesla fully tested this truck. That's where I could have came in.
I thought it was just interesting to see the pulling. And then, what's it like when you put too much load in the back end? That was 3,500 pounds of cinder blocks. And what does that do? Oh, that does not look good for your rear axle. Alright, so once again, WhistlinDiesel, a little rough around the edges. I don't know, I would normally recommend you watch his videos. If you want to see, though, the full videos of his Test 1 and Test 2 and see some of the other tests that they put it through, like they drove them through a body of water, completely flooded them out. The F-150 wasn't able to run again. Well, okay, until he filled the hood with rice and he legit got it to run again. That cracked me up. You'll have to go watch his video to see how that all plays out. Don't watch WhistlinDiesel with the kids. Please, I beg you. Now, as far as JerryRigEverything, he is a much friendlier, safer video to watch with the whole family, and he gets very scientific with everything that he does. So if you want to check out his video, I recommend it. In fact, every time a new phone comes out, I want to see how it stands up. I used to be a fan of the OnePlus brand phones. We have several of them, still have them, still use them in some cases. When the OnePlus 10 came out, he could take his bare hands and snap the phone in half. No tools, nothing extra, just his bare hands. I avoided the OnePlus 10. So I find it very interesting to see what he has to say about stuff like that. So to see that he went out and broke a Tesla's Cybertruck frame as well, and now he officially says, don't tow with this. And he does explain in his video as well, is like normally as you're just pulling, right, you're only going to have the 2,000 pounds cargo capacity weight pushing down on the ball, and then you're going to have that horizontal pull. But then he was explaining how going over various different situations will change it, and depending on the roughness of the road and everything is when you're going to add the extra stress. So a lot of things there adding up to why you probably shouldn't use the Tesla Cybertruck to pull RVs. Once again, I love that Elon Musk is trying things, they're testing things out. I would love to see them try like a hybrid diesel dually, fully electric vehicle with a diesel generator inside of it to give it continual charging as it goes to try to get a 500 or 600 mile range while towing. I would love to see him come out with, seeing what he can do, because I know he's trying with the truck, he's trying with the car, he's trying with semi-trucks. I know there's got to be an in-between, but I really think that they need to get this frame situation fixed. And as you heard from WhistlinDiesel there's no comment. They're not saying anything. So I hope that they get involved, check that out. And also, Corey and Jesse with Finding Air Someday. I know it seems like a tough one. You guys put some other stuff to the test, like living in a little Class B van for all of a trip in Alaska, but man alive, if you could go take a Tesla Cybertruck with your RV and go put it to the test for 1,000 miles, I think everybody would be really interested to see how that pans out. All right, well, that's it for this commentary. Sorry, I've got laundry hanging up. I don't ever dry my shirts. I'm a tall guy. I always hang my shirts up to dry, and today was laundry day. Always laundry with me, right? And if you're wondering how I'm able to do these types of videos, apparently, my understanding is that if I'm doing commentary on someone else's YouTube videos, it's, according to YouTube, it's technically not like I'm stealing their footage. So hopefully I'm doing all that right. If they come to me and say they have a problem with it, I'll take it down. But I just a lot of y'all, I don't know that you would watch WhistlinDiesel. So I wanted to find a way to bring what his testing knowledge learned, even though you haven't seen it, now this is a way for you to catch on to it. Maybe you do want to go over and watch that video, and maybe you do find his stuff interesting. I won't hold it against you. All right, that's all I got for today. Thank y'all so much for watching. Remember that life happens, even bumpers snapping off of trucks. Get a different truck. Don't let that stop you. Stay fresh, cheese bags.